Are you ready for it? There is a world where the Detroit Lions make the playoffs. I know it felt like after the loss to the Buffalo Bills, it felt like, nope, that's it. Lions are out. At least it did to me, sitting at 4-7. And I'm like, nah, there's no way. But they actually have a chance. They have a chance. It is slim, but there is a path forward to it. So let's go ahead and take a look and just get you all situated and acquainted with where things sit in the NFC. And I'm going to make some clarity of that first. I want to make some clarity of that first and then kind of talk to you about what needs to happen in order for the Lions to make a playoff push. So first, here's the way the playoff system works. You have your 4 division leaders. They all make it. Yes, that is why the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now at 5-6, if the playoffs started, would have a home playoff game because they lead the NFC South, which is garbage. So, that's just the way it goes. And then you have multiple teams in the wild card hunt with a better record than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And here's one thing that kept being said throughout is that the East, anybody, it's open for anybody. It's open for anybody. I'm like, I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think the records are pretty good at this point, but there's a lot of football to be played. So in the wild card, remember, it has changed. 7 teams make the playoffs. This is year 2, I believe in that. So you have 3 wildcard teams. And the crazy news about this is if the playoffs started today, the NFC East would get all 4 teams in. And that is what this new 3 teams allows for. Here's the thing. The NFC East, while it was a laughingstock just a couple years ago of the NFC, now it is the jewel of the NFC. But they have a lot of games where they're playing each other to end the season. So you have the Cowboys, Giants, and Commanders. They all have to play each other. The Giants and Commanders play each other twice. And our hope is that one of those teams falls out of it. So, and that the Seahawks continue to fall as well. So that's kind of what it looks like now. And look, we even got our name on here, the Lions, 4-7, right? We're there. There's other teams as well, but we're in the hunt, if you want to say. We're 2.5 games back currently of the wild card spot. We're 3 games back on the win column, 2 games back in the loss column to the Commanders. The Commanders are red hot. Here's the good news. We beat the Commanders. The Giants are there. Here's the good news. We beat the Giants. The Seahawks are there. Here's the bad news. We lost to the Seahawks. Why do I keep talking about who we won and lost to? Tiebreak scenarios. Did you win your head-to-head if you have the exact same record? So we're 2.5 games back. So first we have the Cowboys. We're not catching the Cowboys. The Cowboys would have to have a absolute epic and total collapse, and they don't seem to be the team that's going to do that. The Giants, their strength of schedule, this is a team that we 100% can catch. So their strength of schedule remaining is number 1. I think we know they're much worse than the record suggests. We saw us just absolutely destroy them. They lost to us, then they lost to the Cowboys. They have a lot of injuries going on, and we have the head-to-head tiebreaker, even though they have a 3-game lead. With the Commanders, this is interesting. This is the one that I find to be very interesting because there's a world in which we only need to catch the Giants. The Commanders, if they keep winning, they have 2 games against the Giants. In this article, they say it'd be best if they split. Well, what if Commanders win both of those games? And what if they are the number 2 wild card team and we are just catching the Giants and the Seahawks for the 3rd one? They play 2 games against the Giants. They play the Cowboys. They play the 49ers. That is a tough remaining schedule. There is absolutely a world where they go 8-9. I know that sounds crazy thinking about it, but there's absolutely a world where they go 8-9. And I think the Giants, you can say the exact same thing for. So, but I think the Commanders end at 9-8. I think the Giants end at 9-8. And then we have the Seahawks. I also believe the Seahawks will end their season at 9-8. They will go 3-3. And it's not because they're the best team. It's because I believe they have the easiest record. They played the Rams twice, and Stafford might not be back this year. They play against the Panthers. Okay, they should be able to win all 3 of those games. That should bring them to 9 wins. Then they also have 3 more games against the 49ers, the Chiefs, and the Jets that they should lose all of those. So the Falcons, don't sleep on the Falcons because they have a pretty easy schedule, but I realistically see them going 8-9 just because it's a toss-up game, bad teams playing bad teams. I think that's the way it goes. And so what does that mean for the Detroit Lions. I think what that means for the Detroit Lions, and what I'm going to do here in a moment, is pull up the schedule for you for our remaining thing. So we are 4-7, and we have our remaining schedule. I think 9-8 gives you a shot to make the playoffs. It is an outside shot. I'd say 20-25%. 10-7 gives you almost, you're locked. So we would have to run the table. We'd have to win 6 in a row. I can see us beating the Jags. I can see us going and beating the Jets. I don't foresee White continuing to play as well as he has. I can see us beating the Bears. Vikings at home, Panthers. It's the Vikings game, the Jets game, and the Packers, to me, are all absolute toss-ups. I think we should win the other games, but that doesn't mean we will. When I look at this, the only game that I'd be confident putting money on for us to win is the Panthers. That's it. So, like, all the other games feel very toss-up-ish. But what we know is that we have to win 5 of these 6 games and go 9-8 to have a chance to make the playoffs. So, is it a possibility for the Detroit Lions to make the playoffs? Yes. Like, it actually is. Is it likely? No. I think, we just won 3 in a row and then we lost. If we win 3 in a row again, get to 7-7, lose, and then win our last 2, like, we'd have to keep doing this 3-1 thing. It's not easy because we don't have an elite quarterback. We have injuries throughout. It seems like we're starting to get healthy. I'm wondering what the impact of Jameson Williams is, and it depends if he starts playing sooner than later. I think if he comes in earlier, you might have a chance because this offense could get really explosive, especially if those guards get back and healthy, and Okudah gets back on defense. I think, like, you could play really good complementary football, and I do foresee us winning and getting 7 wins minimum out of this team. I think we go 3-3 at least down the stretch. It's not a super hard thing. And if you remember back to the beginning of the year, that's what we said was successful: 6 or 7 wins. We talked about doubling our win total, and we kind of agreed with 7 because we had 3.5 wins because we had 3 wins and a tie. So 7 wins. We decided, most of us on this community, and your comments kind of affirm that what me and Chris were saying, which was 7 wins would be a highly successful season. That's exactly the kind of jump we were hoping for. A 4-game jump and then another one the year after, and get us into that 10, 11, 12 win club. But this year we should be happy with 7 wins. That's where we should be. I understand we're talking playoffs, but the fact that it is almost December and we're still talking about the playoff hunt, like we have a shot, even though it's definitely an outside shot. We're talking about how we have a shot. Isn't that what we said? At the beginning of the year, we want to play competitive football. And what we meant by competitive football is we want to be in games. So we want to see us be in games. And if you're in games, you tend to win some of those games. And so that means that you have an outside chance looking in at the playoffs. So that's again, just as we look at it, that is what we said. But the Detroit Lions do have a chance to make the playoffs. I don't find it to be likely. And I think they will end the year 7-10. That was my prediction off the get. And I think that's still where they're going to be. I have friends that are slappies that are like, we're going 10-7. We're running the table. And, those friends were ones that were saying we're going to lose to the Bills and then win out. And I think we forget the Vikings are really good. And I think we forget that. I think the Packers showed that they have a little life left in them against the Eagles there. So very interested to see what this turns into for the Lions. Be happy with 7 wins, be thrilled with 8, be overjoyed with 9. With 10, there's miracles at work of victories. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit that subscribe button below. If you haven't done it yet, just do it. Give you some updates on when our videos come out. We try and put new content out each and every day on the Lions and the Pistons. One of the two each and every day. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.